Morning guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name's Julie and I'm 53 and I was born with spina bifida and scoliosis and other disabilities. So today I'm going to discuss some of my disabilities and also put some photographs in so you can see what I'm talking about. Well, when I was born, all them 53 years ago, they didn't do scans and that. So my mum didn't know that I was going to be born disabled because they just didn't do scans in them days. So I was born about 4 weeks early. And my dad was actually playing golf on the golf course. So the police had to go and get him because when I was born, obviously they realised I'd got spina bifida, but my left leg had been born the opposite way round. So it completely faced the opposite way. And was a lot shorter than my right leg. So I was born in Lichfield and then I was rushed to Birmingham Children's Hospital. So it took me ages to learn to walk. I had a few surgeries. I don't know if you've seen them. When I was first born, they put me in a double plastic cast with a bar in between the legs, just to try and stabilise the hip. It took me ages to learn to walk, but when I did walk, I used to drag the leg that faced the opposite way. I just literally used to drag it and walk, obviously with quite a bad limp. So they turned the leg in two procedures. First of all, they turned it so it was facing to the left. So then I was still dragging it. And then as I got a bit older, they turned it from the hip so it's facing the correct way. But what they had to do was to stabilise the leg was completely make it rigid. So there's no knee. The leg's completely fused. The foot's fused. I could not literally bend or move any part of my leg. I will put some photographs in a minute so you can see what I mean. I was also born with a club foot, which is a lot shorter than my other foot. It's about half the size actually. And all my toes were like clubbed underneath like that. And it was so painful to walk on them. So what they had to do was they had to remove all the knuckles of the toes so that there's no... So when I put my foot flat on the floor now, the toes will always remain flat. They won't bend over like that. So I had that done. I paid for that privately because I was in so much pain. Well, my mum paid for it. I was in so much pain and I couldn't walk and it was taking ages. So my mum paid and I think it cost her about £1,000 all them years ago to have my blinking toes fixed. So I'm going to put in the pictures now so you can see what my leg and foot looks like. So as you can see, my leg is completely fused straight. There's no knee. I've had all the tendons operated on the back. My foot is completely rigid, so I can't move that at all. I can't move my toes on that foot unless, wait for this, if I wiggle my toes on my good leg, the toes on my left leg will move. But if I try and move the toes on my left leg, just that leg, can't move them. As you can see, the size of the scar on my hip, I had to go in that hip quite a few times to get the leg, perfectly straight. The leg, I now walk, but I do walk with quite a limp. I do tend to go over. I'll try and get my partner, well, not my partner, he's my ex, but we still live together. See if he'll video me walking so you can see how I walk, and also get him to take a photograph of my back, and then I can do another video explaining everything about my back. I was also born with no ribs on my left hand side, but I will do a video on all of that. My leg is bone on bone, so it's very, very painful. I'm sure it's got arthritis in it as well now. My hip on my good leg, that's playing up now, because what happens is when you limp, the weight is carried now on my good hip. So that's got all the wear and tear. So I can see me ending up having to have a new hip on my blinking good hip. I've got pins in my knee on my good leg to stop that leg from growing, because I'm only 4'9", so they had to stop my good leg from growing, because otherwise it was growing and my left leg doesn't grow, and it would have just made the difference worse than what it is now, and I probably wouldn't have been able to walk. It is frustrating with this leg, because sometimes when you can't move anything, because I'm lying in bed and I can't move the leg, it's fixed, it will just not move. My heel's starting to wear, so I've just bought some heel protectors to put on my leg in the bed, and sometimes I can't put my shoe on myself or tights on myself, or it's little things like that. Sometimes you need help, and when you're living with an ex and you don't get on and you've got to ask him, it's a bit of a ball ache, to be honest. But at the minute I'm wearing slip-on shoes, so I can do it myself. So you just got to work around it, to be honest. So yeah, I do walk with quite a severe limp, and I will get asked. People don't really notice my back as much. Well, I suppose it is noticeable, but they don't mention my back as much. So I will get questions like, "What have you done to your leg? Why are you walking like that?" And stairs. It's the stairs that are the worst, because it's really not my confidence, because I never used to have to walk with a stick, but I'm having to use a walk with a stick now because my balance is not very good at all. But I'll discuss more about that with my back, because I can't lift my left arm up very far. So I will do a video on my back. So my back, with me starting to go over a little bit, it's made my balance even worse. I'm having to use a stick, and it's really like knocked my confidence. So there's nothing worse than going into town and just getting stared at. And I don't get me wrong, I don't mind people staring. I'm sure I stare at different things that I see. It's the ones that blatantly stop in their tracks and stare at me. It really knocks your confidence and makes you feel shit. So I don't mind people asking me questions at all, but do it in a more appropriate setting. Don't do it when I'm eating something in a cafe, or you just come up to me randomly, because I don't know who you are, and it can be quite daunting when you're on your own. I do take a lot of painkillers, because as you can imagine, I do suffer a lot with pain, and as I'm getting older, the pain's getting worse. So I do wear a fentanyl patch. I'm on a very high dose, because I've been on painkillers all my life. It gets to the point where I've done all the tramadol, I've done all the I've done all the codeines, cocodamols, and it gets to a point where they don't work for me anymore. So now we're on a bit of a cocktail. I have to wear a fentanyl patch, which is 53. No, it's about 60 micrograms an hour that goes into my system, and that's a really high dose. I've got codeine just as a backup. I'm on gabapentin, which is a drug for epilepsy, but it does help with pain. It blocks the nerve signals, so I found that's been a real help. I also take a drug called etodolac, which is a 24-hour anti-inflammatory. So that is brilliant. I really notice a difference if I don't take it. But some mornings I still wake up and I'm in a lot of pain. Like, if I don't move in the night, I find that when I wake up, the pain's worse. Like this morning, everything hurt, and it still hurts now. I'm literally in a lot of pain, so I'm going to have to add cocaine. I was going to say then, oh my God, I've never tried cocaine. I'm going to have to try codeine today, just as a backup, just to see if that'll take the edge off it. I did do a pain group. I don't know if any of you who've got chronic pain have ever done the pain group. I found it to be a waste of bloody time, to be honest with you. To me, it was just a load of people moaning about their pain, and I came out of it more depressed than I was going in, because there's nothing you can do. You've got to learn to live with it. So that's where I am with my leg at the moment. Because it's a severe pain, they did offer an option, but they advised that it wasn't going to be worth it. What they advised doing is re-breaking the whole leg, breaking every bone in that leg, having pins in it so they could stretch it, and they didn't know whether it would be successful. And I just thought, I can't be asked to put myself through all that. I've had over 50 major surgeries, and I'm just at the point now where I can't be asked. It doesn't bother me walking with a limp. I'm used to it. I've done it all my life. So I don't... And he agreed with me, actually, to put myself through such a traumatic surgery when the chances are it probably cause more pain after. And would I be able to walk after? It's just not worth putting yourself through that. I'm trying to think anything else about my leg. It can be numb in places. It's weird. It's numb to touch, but then you get an ache pain, and the ache pain sometimes worse. It doesn't go away. Also, the pads of my foot when you walk, because my foot when I walk doesn't lay flat, because it's like uneven. Say it's like that. Right, the side of my pads of my foot are wearing away because all the weight's constantly going on that, and that's why he offered that surgery, to try and take the pressure off that pad. But it was such a massive surgery, break every bone in my leg just to fix that. I can't put myself through that. So they did make me some insoles to wear in my shoes, but I can't wear them. They just irritate me. I don't wear built-up shoes. I can't be arsed with any of that. Limping doesn't bother me. It is what it is. Like I said, using my stick is not my confidence, but you just got to get on with it. And there's a lot of people a lot worse than me. So anyway, that's a little bit about some of my disabilities. I will do a video on my spine when I can get some photographs, and I'll get somebody to video me walking so you can have an idea of what I walk like, etc. Anyway, if you've got any questions or you want to ask me anything, just send me a message. I'm quite happy to answer anything. Please like, share and subscribe, and I'll catch you again later. Also, there also is a video, I think previously, a while back, that does also contain photographs and that about my disabilities. But I will do one on my spine next, because that obviously affects my breathing and everything else. Anyway, guys, thank you for listening. Take care. Bye.